Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm your host Brian and this is Ditch Chicken Adventures. Today I'm going to be covering the 2025 Northern Maine grouse hunting predictions. So buckle up, let's get it going. To start off, throughout the spring we saw cooler than normal temperatures and a lot of rain. I know for many of us we ran our furnaces until just about Memorial Day weekend because we had some really cool, crisp mornings. Now, what does that mean for the grouse? For those birds that had hatched, it means it was a struggle for them to survive. So probably looking at a kill-off of a lot of the younger birds, maybe even some of the eggs prior to them hatching. Top that off with midsummer. We got a little bit warmer, but then we went into a drought, and that equated into not a lot of the usual ground foods like mushrooms that they're accustomed to and really like to eat. So when the second hatch came along, there was a little bit of competition for any food. So I'm thinking we had maybe a little bit greater numbers on the second portion, but not as what we've seen in the past. That's going to result in smaller than average birds and not as many that we're accustomed to seeing throughout prior years. Now, yesterday was September 27th, Saturday, and it was the blast and cast weekend. So we went up to the North Maine woods to see what we could find. So going in through the Portage Gate, we made our way to, let's see here, Carr Pond, South Branch, and then over to the 20-mile cutoff. Up until that point, we didn't see any birds. The weather was gorgeous. We had a nice crisp morning. Not a frost, but it was still a nice cool morning. We hit the 20-mile cutoff road, and probably about 10 miles in, maybe 8, we started to see a few birds, not too bad. Then we got up to a junction where Wise Out. Sorry, I don't know the name of the road. I think it was Big Brook. We took that left, went about a mile, and that is when we came across our first covey of grouse, which you'll see in the video. And I actually got 3 with one shot. Now, that is amazing. I've never done that before, so I was pretty excited for that. But that is all we harvested for the day. In total, we saw 11 birds in a mix of from really small up to mature birds. The mature birds did not stick around. You'll see another video of that here in a minute. We saw 2, they were a little bit of ways. I zoomed in, and before Brother Dan could get close enough to annihilate anything, they just walked off. So with that, that was our last real good opportunity until we were leaving through Ashland Gate. Probably about a mile before you get out of the woods, there was one that was sitting by the road. That one didn't wait around either, and that was about it. So really concerned with what we're going to be seeing, because at the gate I was told that not many people saw any grouse, let alone shot any. So keep that in mind as you're going out. So just to recap quickly with what we've discussed, with the cold, wet spring, the drought through the summer, and the lack of foods like mushrooms, we're not going to be probably seeing those numbers. So I know I'm Captain Obvious on this one. So prediction is we're not going to see a ton of birds during the first 2 weeks of the season because we still have a lot of thick tree cover and the grass is still pretty high. So let's move on into week 1. My prediction is going to be this. You're going to maybe see a few birds during the day. Hopefully you'll get 1 or 2, but that's probably going to be about it because of that thick cover. Now, the leaves are in full color right now. It's absolutely gorgeous when you're going up doing the Rocky Mountain to Realty Road loop. So if you get a chance during the first week, get out there. Check it out. It's absolutely gorgeous, as you can see in the pictures down below. But again, you're not going to see a lot of birds just because of the cover is so thick. Also, you're probably going to see a lot more smaller birds. So try to refrain from shooting those. Let them get a little bit bigger, maybe even survive for next year, especially if you're just out there for the sport of the hunt and not for the meat of it. We are in need of some rain. Heavy rain would be preferred to start knocking the leaves and that cover down. Top that off with a couple good frosty mornings. That should help provide additional water sources for the birds and start to pull them closer into the roads and maybe onto the banks to sun themselves. But again, it's still a little difficult to see them. So you've got to be observant while you're out there during week 1. Week 2, we're going to start seeing probably a little bit more frost, especially when you're getting up into the higher elevation. I know, Captain Obvious again here, but the tree cover will start to diminish. The grass is going to start to die off, and you should be seeing a few more birds during your trips out to the woods. Now, if you see them and they walk off, you have to be able to walk in after them, because a lot of times they're just going to go in about 10 to 25 yards. They're going to stop and maybe even hunker down. So get close, get low, take a look, listen, and then proceed to go after them. Now, if they're very flighty and you're using shotgun only, I do recommend that you carry a 22 rifle with you, because as they get flightier during the season, you're going to need to take those longer shots. Now, for us, we do not shoot off the wing because we don't use dogs, and 2, we don't want to maim anything and have it fly off and die later on. To me, that's just cruel, and that's just the way we hunt, because we eat what we shoot when it comes to the bird season. So again, bring a 22 with you on your trips. Just be aware of what's beyond that target, so that way you don't have a bullet flying down the road for a distance, maybe striking somebody or into somebody's car. That is not cool. Week 3 and beyond, we should start to see more birds by the road as they make their way in, because they're going to want to warm up in the morning and grab their morning newspaper, chug down a couple rocks to help with the harder foods that they're having to eat because of that lack of mushrooms, before they make their way back into the woods for the winter time. Now, I'm not thinking we're going to see those huge numbers as in years past. 2020 was an amazing year because they were just everywhere. Then a couple years ago, I know we had a really hard year with a cold spring, and a lot of rain killed off a lot of birds. The summer was not much better, and we had a hard time with the harvest. But I think we're going to be getting a couple birds a day, seeing a nice handful here and there, maybe even coming into a covey or 2 if you're in those more remote areas where there's not a lot of traffic. So just be vigilant, be willing to go after them if you see them walk into the tree line, and again, low, slow, listen, and scan. So to recap, week 1's going to be horrible. Until those leaves drop off and you can see deeper into the tree line, you're probably not going to have much success, especially if you're fluffy like me and you don't want to go chasing after them into the tree line. Now, I will, as you've seen in prior videos, I'm a little stupid when it comes to that, because I had to be drug out of the woods one year because I snapped my ankle and chasing after a bird. So yeah, be careful of the little traps they set for you. That is the tricky part. Week 2, you're going to have a little bit more success because it's going to get colder. They're going to start coming down towards the roads more. And the evenings, early mornings, you should be really out there. Make sure you're situated and ready to go. I know I'm acting like it's deer hunting, but anyway, early morning, later in the afternoon should be a really good time to get your birds. Of course, Captain Obvious, because it's the way it is every year. So do me a favor down below. Let me know where you're hunting. What are you hunting with? And how much success did you have? Are my videos good? Are they spot on? Or am I way out in center field there? Because I think last year I knocked it out of the park pretty good with my prediction. The year prior, I'm not sure if I did a video. I'll have to go back and check. I don't know if I really nailed that one down, because that was a horrible year. Now, we're not going to have a year like 2020 when the birds were everywhere. It was like roaches scattering every road that you hit. And one other thing I want to mention too, I think we had a lot of pressure on Saturday. We had the end of the moose hunt. We have a little bit of bear hunting going on, because every road we were on had 1 or 2 vehicles. So a lot of traffic, a lot of pressure already. So that may actually keep them pushed back for a few days going into this upcoming week. So best of luck to you. I hope you get out there and are getting your birds, and I'm hoping that I'm extremely wrong on this, please. But best of luck to you, and remember, life is good when you're a little crazy. All right, I'm out of here until next time. Stay tuned for a little sponsorship video. Check them out. Hey everyone, want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor Xstar for making this video possible. XTAR is committed to providing their customers with safe, reliable, and creative products, from high-quality batteries like you see right here to smart chargers, LED flashlights, and much more. They offer a comprehensive range of products to meet your evolving needs. Now, these are a great replacement for traditional batteries because they have a very long runtime and the recharge is pretty quick as well. We use these with our trail cams, game collars, and even our metal detectors. So check them out today at www.xtar.cc. Link is down below. I don't think you'll be too disappointed, so check them out. Thank you very much.